This is the Disrespectful Lady. I'm your host, Dr. J. Wagwan, Wagwan. It's 2016 and it's all about the debate. So this week was the first national presidential debate between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And I don't know if you tuned in, but I know many people that did not tune in. Not because, not because they were busy or didn't have time, but because the sheer anxiety of this election alone, the anxiety is so high with this election that I know people that generally got sick about the debate and did not want to participate in it. And I being one of those, I had anxiety. I didn't want to watch it. I kind of got scared. I was like, okay, should I watch it? But I kind of got lucky. It just happened to work out. I got the chance to watch it. I had an opportunity to see both candidates go at it, and I'm so thankful. So I am here today to share with you all what happened and what I thought of the debate and the best parts, the highlights of the debate. And for those of you that did not get to tune in for whatever reason, whether you were busy with your children, work, or you just had too much anxiety and did not want to deal with this, here's your recap of the first debate of the presidential election 2016, Donald Trump and Hillary. All right, this is the Disrespectful Lady, and I'm your host, Dr. J. What really is going on with the debate? Donald Trump lost it. Do you understand what I'm saying? He lost it. The truth is, he's been losing it this whole time. But is this what we want for our president? Is this who we want to represent us as the president of the United States of America? I mean, let me just say it. This man is crazy. And it showed. He's a racist, crazy businessman. And if you saw any clips from the debate, you saw how he really could not keep it together. I mean, let me just talk about their body language first of all. One of the first things, he couldn't even stand still at the podium. He kept leaning, he kept drinking water, he was sniffling, he just couldn't handle it. An hour and a half, and he would just fell apart right in front of us. Now, Hillary is a seasoned veteran and she is a seasoned debater. She has been doing this and I give it to her. She was well prepared for it and I'm so grateful. It showed the difference in the preparation between the two candidates and I just loved it. She was poised, she was composed, she stood there the entire time, never took a sip of water. Meanwhile, he must have took about 6 or 7 sips of water. She was able to compose herself while he was like about to fall down. I mean, look at what happened a couple of weeks when she fainted. Even if Hillary died, I'd rather vote for Hillary's dead body than to vote for Donald Trump. That has to say something to you all, because Hillary's dead spirit is better than Donald Trump. And this debate showed it all. And let me recap. I'm so excited. I don't even know where to start because it was so good. It was really a really good debate because it gave us an opportunity to see the differences between the two candidates and to show us what he knows and what he doesn't know. So, this is the Disrespectful Lady and I'm your host, Dr. J. What go on with the debate? 2016. And there was definitely a difference in their temperament. You can see, we've all seen the fire in Donald Trump throughout this election, throughout this nominee process, and we've all seen the poise that Hillary is and exudes in her demeanor. And, Stamina Daddy, even that blue tie could not help you. It was really unfortunate that he could not handle it. I mean, he was attacking Hillary, and that was the basis of the debate when it breaks it down to. Now, I appreciate that these two people have put themselves out here to represent the country. I'm not going to down Donald Trump because it is a process and it takes a lot to do this, and he's doing it, but he is simply not presidential material. He's a great businessman and he showed that within the debate. He's able to make money, at least that's what he says, because we have yet to see tax returns to see what kind of money this man makes. But thank you for running, But no, thank you. We do not need this man to be the president of the United States. He does not have the demeanor nor the temperament to handle this. He's just not diplomatic enough to deal with other nation leaders. The way he was talking about Mexico, the way he was speaking about China, the way he conducts himself, and the way he feels as though he can say whatever he wants to whomever he wants. I just think that it is disrespectful. Words are important. How we express ourselves to other people, what we say matters, and how we say it. And I thank Hillary very much for what she was saying and how she was saying it. We are a peaceful nation, and we need to come across that way. And Donald Trump is not an example of what we want for our country. I think that with Donald Trump being in the presidency, this country would literally go down. Either he would be impeached within a year, or he would run this country into a muck. He wants to cut the tax for the very rich, which is only 1%. And Hillary wants to raise the tax for the rich and let them pay their fair share into this country, into this economy. But him raising the tax for the rich, he seems to have this great plan that by raising the tax for the rich are somehow going to reinvest back into America and create new jobs. Do you know what I think is going to happen? The rich is going to get their money and they're going to run. They're going to leave the country in the same numbers that they're leaving the country now. We do not need to cut the taxes for the rich. What we need to do is allow the rich to contribute to this place. Donald Trump is one of those rich, and he did not pay any federal tax. That means he didn't contribute to the roads. He did not contribute to the hospitals. He did not contribute to this society whatsoever, the veterans, and yet and still, this man feels as though cutting the taxes for the rich is going to somehow make America great again. It is not. It's going to drive all these rich folks and their money out of America, because all the money that they've lost, they're just waiting to find a way to recoup it. And they see that in Donald Trump. They're going to get their money and they're going to leave. They're not going to reinvest it back into this place. But Hillary Clinton's plan, on the other hand, raising the tax for the rich, reinvesting it back into the middle class, even though there is no middle class, because you're either rich or you're poor, but she has a plan and it can sustain the country. Donald Trump, it would collapse us. It would be the same balloon that happened when Bush was in, and we cannot afford this. This is the Disrespectful Lady. We're talking about taxes, the debate 2016, Hillary Clinton, Donald Trump. Go out and vote. Vote or die, because if we don't, we can't say anything. The reality is this. Donald Trump made it this far. He is the Republican nominee. No one expected this to happen, but this is the reality of where he is. He can steal this election. So we as a nation have to go out there and protect this nation. We as a people have to go out and vote. If we do not do anything about it, look and see what happens to America. America will tumble under the presidency of Donald Trump. And we cannot stand by and let this happen. We as a nation have to rise up and go out and vote. He has a lot of supporters. All those racist folks that have been laying low for decades are now getting up and rallying behind him. No one expected Donald Trump to be here. Just like we're all saying, oh no, he can't become president, but it can happen unless you get up, get out, and do something about it. Now, another great topic that was going on was trade. That was the only thing that I actually thought he knew anything about. That was the first question Lester asked. And what he said was, he made good points about trade. We should tax countries bringing things into our country. We do not. We have a policy where we've supported so many countries for so long that we're taxed when we bring goods into their country, but they're not taxed when they bring goods into our country. So they need to renegotiate these trade agreements. They need to find better ways to bring revenue and income into America, because it's not fair. We pay taxes. They should pay some taxes, and that is the point. Hillary has a plan set in motion to handle this situation when she becomes president. So yes, trade will be an issue, and that was the only thing that Donald had anything to say about. That was like, oh, okay, he might know what he's talking about. But that was the beginning, when he was cool, calm, and collected, and then he lost his mind. Again, we spoke about jobs. They spoke about jobs, and they spoke about ways to keep jobs in America and ways to stop jobs from leaving America. And Hillary, yet again, she had a plan. That was the one thing that you saw in the debate. Point after point, question after question. She was ready. She was prepared. She had a plan for America. He doesn't. Now, his plan was, oh, you get them not to leave. As long as they don't leave, you don't lose jobs. But they're leaving. And that was his big point. So if they're leaving, how do we make them stay again? Hillary had a plan. Hillary is trying to find a way to keep these large companies from picking up and migrating and America losing. They're finding a way to find ways to bring money back to America. Countries that have migrated and want to bring their money back to America and cannot do so because of loopholes and taxes and government bureaucracy. Here goes. Hillary has a plan. How to restore the economy. How to bring the movement back to America. How to make America feel good again. Every child should have computers at their desk. Every child should have opportunities to have the best education. It just boggles my mind that in America, look at how we make women give childbirth. We make women lay down and go against gravity and go against the natural flow of life. We even use in the bathroom, you put in a simple step stool under your feet. We act as though we're such a great nation, but when you really stop and look around, take a real hard look around. And see, how are we living? All of this work, all of this money, what do we have? How advanced are we in this country? That's a question I'm posing. This is the Disrespectful Lady. I'm your host, Dr. J. Why go on? Debate 2016. Do you feel like we live in a third world country? What do you think about our hospitals, our roads? How do you really feel about this nation as a whole? How are we doing? Do you see us in 20 years? Where are we going to be at? What do you think? Send in your comments. Share with your friends. Subscribe to the page. Check me out on YouTube. It's the Disrespectful Lady. Mwah. It's the Disrespectful Lady. Wow, go on. We're talking about the debate 2016. And Donald Trump and Hillary had their first debate. It was great. I'm excited to report back to you all how it went down. Hillary was really great. Donald Trump lost his mind. One of the things that he kept doing throughout the debate was attacking her. He kept saying, oh, Hillary, you've been doing this for 30 years. Why didn't you change anything as senator, as secretary of state? Well, let's be real. She's one person. What could she have really done? And she did the best that she could. And yes, she could have done better. But let's give her credit. She at least ran and she was in there and she's fighting for the people. But that was his whole thing. Oh, you've been in there for 30 years. He blamed her for everything. He kept attacking her. What about your emails? What about Benghazi? What about, he went in on her. And at one point, she was so eloquent and so poised, she just laughed it off. She even shimmied a little bit, gave us a little dance, like, wow, I'm going to be attacked for the whole of the United States. All the problems in America is going to be on Hillary Clinton. And no, that wasn't the case. And he really went hard. He really went hard in attacking her. And I was really proud of her, though. One of the things was, I thought it was going to be a big circus. I thought this debate was going to be a circus of our lifetime. I was pleasantly surprised. It wasn't quite circusy, but it was a little circusy. Lester, the commentator, did a great job. He let them go back and forth. It felt like a real debate. I felt as though they tackled issues that were important to me. I would have liked to see them tackle more issues like immigration, but they definitely tackled issues like race that I found that I wanted to hear more about. And again, Donald Trump was just taking jabs, attacking her. And at one point, she got kind of fed up and she gave it back to him. She said, yo, Donald, where's your taxes, man? 40 presidents, candidates have all released their tax record so that we can see what's going on, their finances, who they owe money to. Donald Trump refuses to release his taxes. Here goes his comment. If Hillary, you show us your 30,000 deleted emails, I'll show you my taxes. We need to be concerned about this. He, on the other hand, is standing at the podium like, I got President Obama to show his birth certificate. I'm the one in 2011 But even though you got him to show his birth certificate in 2011, you still belittled him and made it seem as though he wasn't an American citizen for year after year after year after year, for years to come. You still did not give this man his rightful rights. It makes me feel, and I'm sure many of us black people, it's back in the plantation days where your slave master sees you and it's like, hey boy, you got your papers, boy? You free, boy? Where's your papers, boy? You belittled the President of the United States of America by, you berated him with, oh, we need to see your birth certificate. We need to see a birth certificate, as though a black man could not be born in the United States of America. And that was really unfortunate, Donald Trump. But in all of this, oh, I got Obama to show his birth certificate. Who's going to get you to show your taxes? We as a nation have the right to see your taxes, to see who you owe money to see who you owe money to. Maybe you really don't make as much money as you say, as Hillary said. And she was right. She made 3 great points. Maybe you really don't have as much money as you claim to have. Or maybe you owe somebody money that you shouldn't. But should we allow you to become president? Maybe owing Russia something we don't know about? Not paying federal taxes? I mean, you're hiding something, Donald. And the fact is, it's the truth. You're hiding something. And all your attacks and all your berating of Hillary Clinton still showed us one thing. Why can't we see your taxes, Donald Trump? Because you got something to hide. And that's the bottom line. I love the way he evaded the question. He never answered a question. Lester would ask a question. And I didn't even like that, because I felt as though Lester is a black man, and you know, it was difficult for him to respect that. But Lester did a great job nevertheless. But Donald Trump needs to own up to it. Let's see your paperwork. I'm calling you out, Donald Trump, the same way you called out President Obama. Show us your taxes. No one has seen taxes for Donald Trump in 10 years. Yet and still, this man is the Republican candidate for president. He can steal this election. We need to be careful and we need to be mindful. Now, stop and frisk, race, law and order. Now this man is beyond. It was interesting to see his answer when it came to race. He had no answer, because it addressed issues that I wanted to hear about. And that is the issues with the minorities, blacks, and the police. That is the issue of serving time for crimes that really didn't need to be in jail for 25 years. Hillary did a great job with addressing bias, with addressing racism, with addressing what it is that we're all dealing with right now in this country. Colin Kaepernick, and I was appreciative of that. She spoke about ways and putting together different options on how to deal and how to go about dealing with the police and dealing with the black youth. And Donald Trump's answer was law and order. That's what he feels. He's like, stop and frisk was a great thing for New York. And I did my own numbers. I came out and found I found a few different facts to help. But Donald Trump feels as though when stop and frisk happened, the numbers of crime went down from 2,000 to 500, but that wasn't the reality. The reality was that only 0.1% of the people that got stop and frisk was their gun found. So stop and frisk didn't help. But stop and frisk was an indirect racial profiling to young blacks and Spanish boys and men. And of course, as a white man, he couldn't understand that. Having the white privileged life that he's had, he could never understand the bias that comes with trying to catch a train for work, and now you have to be stopped to frisk to see if you have a gun on you. And chances are, 0.1% of the time, only 0.1% of the time have there been a gun found. So most of those young black and Hispanic boys, men, are going to work or doing something productive in life, and you're stopping them because you can stop and frisk. It was deemed unconstitutional, It is indirect profiling, indirect racial profiling. People were saying it to him. Lester was saying it. Hillary was saying it. But this man is so stuck in his way that it's still to him. Oh, it worked. Giuliani's here. It worked. No, the only reason that it wasn't deemed unconstitutional, it could have been brought back to the table, but the current mayor didn't want to take it back out, and all of this and all of that, all to say what? He has no answer. He has nothing to say about the race war in America and about the injustice that young blacks are dealing with and facing in America, because that's a white privileged man living in a white privileged world, and he could never understand our struggle and our plight. So when it came to race, he failed miserably at answering this question. He couldn't. He had no answer because he couldn't even relate to us. Hillary, on the other end, made me feel good because at least she recognized you got black men in jail for no reason. Because at a time when you guys needed to fill up our jail cells, you filled them up with our black men and you locked them up for so long. And there's something needs to be done about it. She addressed it, and it was really nice. She did address issues that were important to me, and she gave me answers and direction to say, okay, this is where we're going. This is what I'd like to do. This is how we can make this better. He had no direction. Law and order is not the solution for this problem. We are living in a biased world, and racism exists and racial bias exists, and we need to deal with it. We as a nation need to deal with it, and the incoming president needs to be mindful of this, because it's either you do something or look at what's going to happen. Cops are getting killed. We have to do something. Racial profiling is serious. White privilege is serious. But there is a bias against black men in America and in all over the world. Because America does it so well, the rest of the country, the rest of the world has a bias against us. And black men, black people have built this country, yet we get nothing for it. We don't even get treated decent. We get treated like animals. Another black man just got killed. His sister called the cops to help because he was having seizures. A white cop shows up and pumps 4 bullets into him. This is crazy. She called the police for help, and she explained to them that the man wasn't well, he was sick. Yet and still, rather than call the paramedics, they called out a SWAT team, a killer SWAT team. Instead of sending paramedics to help a black man having seizures, walking through the streets, you send a SWAT team. And what happened? He died. Of course, he's a black man. When your color is seen as the armor, you're never unarmed. When all they see is black and look at you as you're a danger, what do? This is the Disrespectful Lady. I'm your host, Dr. J. Wagwan.